Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Blue Jays Today. We're your boys. We always got something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playalog. And my goodness gracious, the Toronto Blue Jays are good at baseball. They continue to shock, surprise, and just wow the entire MLB. And after yesterday's performance, after the start to this second half, I can honestly tell you, MLB gonna be on notice about those Toronto Blue Jays. If you haven't already done so, hit that like, smash the subscribe, and of course, let us know your thoughts about all this in the comments down below. How about 11 home wins consecutively in a row for your Toronto Blue Jays? That is the most in franchise history, or tied for the most, excuse me.
No, it is the most.
That is the most.
It is the most.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. So, okay, there we go.
Yeah, there you go. Broke the record.
It has already happened. We have broken the record. Chances to even go further tonight. Gausman on the bump last night for that 11th win. Looked phenomenal. We needed to see it, dude. Just talk to me about all of this.
Yeah, I mean, my goodness, like, we're facing the Yankees in a big pivotal game. We got the butterflies going on. We're not really sure, because anytime you face up against a divisional rival, especially the New York Yankees, you're thinking, well, eventually the other shoe's gonna drop,
Starting
right?
pitcher matchup wasn't in our favor
Rodon.
at the time.
Yeah, and like, we got to Rodon before, but not like barely. We had 2 earned runs in 5 innings last time he was in Toronto, but Gausman's been shaky. He had a shaky month of June, but let's talk about Gausman right here. He came out and he proved why he could be the ace on this team, maybe in a Game 1 start. We've been debating about who will be that Game 1 guy on Blue Jays Today. Well, yesterday, Kevin Gausman, he had 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, only 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts, and it was all based on the fastball.
Hell yeah.
He literally threw his fastball 73% of the time.
That's crazy.
And to give you a comparison of what he's done earlier in the season, 54% of the time was his fastball usage. And there were some people on the stream saying he's making mistake pitches because he's throwing a fastball down the middle. I think those are purposeful pitches.
No, that was the game plan.
He was establishing the fastball right in the middle of the zone because the Yankee hitters weren't even going after it.
It honestly was very reminiscent to me of Robbie Ray, back when Robbie Ray was in his Cy Young form with the Jays. Robbie Ray threw a shitload of fastballs, and quite often they were in the middle of the zone. And I don't know if it was just people weren't ready for them or they weren't sitting on them or whatever, but it worked. And last night, 73% of the time when Kevin Gausman was throwing that fastball, it was working. Only gave up 1 earned run right there off of 1 solo jack. Got himself into a couple small jams and then worked himself out of it. And that's what you want to see for an ace. And also as well, 84 pitches. So he could have been thrown out there again. John Schneider made the decision not to. Ultimately, it worked out, but he could have potentially gone into the 8th.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded to go out a little bit longer, considering that we have a big stretch coming up with not a lot of off days. Until literally the trade deadline is when our first off day is, and we're playing a lot of games. But I don't hate it. Don't hate it at all. And to finish off the Gausman thought, man, that's how you get that splitter working real good. That splitter people have been talking about. It's not break as much, not getting as much swing as miss. Well, that's how you get swing and miss. Is when you establish a fastball first time through the lineup, and then you get that splitter going. It's really, really good. And I want to shout this out because Keegan Maston brought it up saying, hey, maybe this could be a sign of a potential Game 1 start. I think we're going to know that answer once we get closer to September, once we get closer to October. But, hey, you got to give Gausman some credit. In the month of July, an ERA of 3.18, that's pretty nice. Yeah, the whip's a little bit high, but the numbers are low. So, hey, whoever's hot, honestly, going into September, going into October, that's going to be my Game 1 starter.
Yeah, it's always... it's also going to depend on that trade deadline as well, who the Toronto Blue Jays inevitably bring in. I was literally just on the radio, and the biggest conversation talking point was, who are we going to get? And could he be that Game 1 guy? If he is, that's awesome, but if not, it's good to know that Kevin Gausman is starting to round out, and hopefully he can have a better second half. Now, all of this goes toward the win-loss record. That's really the only thing that fucking matters, man.
That's true.
And the Toronto Blue Jays right now, after 100 games, because we are officially 100 games into the regular season, they're at 59 wins. The last time that they were at 59 wins, shout out to Chris Black right here, that was in 1992. Now, I know that we've had some of these comparisons previously, it was, the last time we had this win-loss record at this time was that time, or the last time we had a win streak like this, it was 2015. But we're 100 games in. That is absolutely a reasonable sample size to go, okay, this is legit. What we are seeing is not a fluke. this product on the field is good.
Yeah, they are very, very good. And obviously things can still unravel and things can change, but we got a good sample size here. I mean, I compare this team a lot to 2015 in terms of the vibes. I wasn't feeling this vibey this early because we weren't until the trade deadline getting exciting. Like we were 50-51 after 101 games. Then the trade deadline hit for the Blue Jays back in 2015. Then they got exciting. So obviously things can still change. Maybe things could get even better for the Blue Jays, but it's a good sign nonetheless. Here's another good sign. This is how dominant the Blue Jays have been this season. You want to talk about how exciting a team is when you go into a series and you just leave and you dominate and you sweep them. There's been a lot of sweeps. We lead Major League Baseball in sweeps with 8. Dodgers at 7 and 6 other teams at 6. And those sweeps feel like they've all been coming after April. Like it feels like they've been coming in bunches lately.
100%. Yeah. I mean, like, let's not forget, this was not a really good baseball team after April. We were thinking that this was going to be the same story as 2024. Then in May, things took a shift. And since then, you could argue that the Toronto Blue Jays have been the best team in all of baseball since the start of May. Like, the record since then is phenomenal. The offense turned a corner. Everything has been great. And I know that, there'll be a lot of haters out there citing, it's like, oh, well, the Toronto Blue Jays run differential, it's not as good. Okay, and I get that. Okay, that's fine. The run differential is not as good. But 8 sweeps. 8 sweeps right there, right? You want to talk about, like you just said, a level of dominance. That is indicative to me that we are dominating the opposition, regardless of what the run differential might say.
Yeah, and apparently there's a few people out there that still don't believe that the Blue Jays are actually a good team. Now, I can't actually bring it up here because I don't have the Athletic signed in. I don't actually pay for the Athletic, and I definitely don't pay for the New York Times because the New York Times came out with an article that was power ranking the entire MLB after last night. So literally after last night, and I can't show you, but they had the Toronto Blue Jays. I mean, Nick will try to show you, but they had the Toronto.
Show you right now.
It'll be kind of blurry, but the Toronto Blue Jays were 7, and the New York Yankees were 6. Yeah, you can't see it. It's white. It's white.
Just no.
It's there.
No.
It's there.
This is the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen.
Yeah, the Blue Jays at 7 behind the Yankees at 6. And if you read it, they go into, well, are they really a good team? Listen here, guys. You just watched the Blue Jays beat you 5 games in a row and in dominant fashion on all facets, and you have the audacity to still put the Blue Jays below the New York Yankees in your power rankings? You don't even have a third baseman, dude. How could you possibly say that? It's blasphemous. We'll see you in October, buddy, and we'll prove it there.
Yeah.
Okay?
Whoa, time for a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code down below to join the action. Only available in Ontario. Must be 19 years of older to participate. Please play responsibly. Now, everyone, back to the content. I just genuinely cannot imagine writing an article like that, putting that out this morning, and feeling good about myself after watching my team get literally dismantled the previous evening and the 4 games prior to that. But to answer their question, are the Toronto Blue Jays a good team? Yes, they are. Number 1 average in all of baseball. Just a reminder that we are, in fact, elite offensively speaking. 2nd in on-base percentage, and that bullpen is phenomenal. Starting pitching needs work, but that is why we're going to have the trade deadline. That is why we're going to make some changes, and we're not the only one that feels this way. Bo Bichette, after yesterday's game, came out and said, "This is the best team I have ever been on." Makes sense when you have 59 wins through 100 games.
Yeah, and that's all that really matters to them. I saw some people talking about, well, like, even better than 2021. Yeah, I mean, sure, 2021 had the Cy Young and had MVP 2 and 3, but after that, like, yeah, there's a couple other guys like Teoscar Hernandez, Lourdes Gurriel. The offense was very exciting, but the bullpen was abysmal. The starting pitching was kind of mid, and you saw what happened. And this year, you've got one of the best offenses in baseball. You've got one of the better bullpens in baseball, and the thing about the starting rotation, you know, if you tell anybody that watches this team now for the last couple months, and you said, yeah, they're the 24th ranked ERA for starting pitching, you'd be like, why? Because you don't have that top end guy. We were talking about this last night. You don't have that top end guy to bring up those numbers like a Tarek Skubal or a Hunter Brown or a Max Fried. You've got a bunch of threes that can go at any given night and give you a chance to win. And some nights they'll blow it up. Yeah. But then on those nights, sometimes that offense will come back and win the game.
And you're hoping that you can pick up that 1 or 2 2 in the rotation come July 31st, which, by the way, we are going to be live for. Final thing to round out all of this, just to further hammer the point home, or I guess answer the question, are the Toronto Blue Jays good? From this New York Times article. Well, they're tied, for the third best record in all of baseball with the Chicago Cubs. If they win tonight, and if Detroit loses tonight, then the Toronto Blue Jays will be tied for the best record in the American League. If the playoffs started today, the Blue Jays would get a bye. We would be in the ALDS.
Yeah. Skip the wild card series.
Now that we're here, fuck the wild card. I don't want to play in the wild card.
No, don't leave it up to chance, man. I want to go through my rotation once and get back to whoever our number 1 game starter is at the 5th game. Let's get it done, everybody. But for real, the Blue Jays are a wagon. They are. And they're doing it in incredible fashion. There sure is a lot of skepticism still out there when you look at the run differential and you look at, they don't really have an elite ace. It doesn't matter. They're putting up wins in the win column, and that's what's going to get you to the postseason. And the whole league, I was just thinking about American League. Look at the whole league. It's wide open right now. We're only 1 game back, like you said, from the Milwaukee Brewers, who are on an 11-game win streak. Things could change, of course, but I like where we're at right now. And if you are a casual Blue Jays fan, it's time to hop on because you're going to see some good baseball coming up in the next few months.
100%, man. Hey, one more series sweep, and we could have the best record in all of baseball.
Could be against the Yankees.
When we're ranked 7th in the power rankings, according to the New York Times. Ridiculous stuff. Folks, if you haven't already done so, please make sure to hit that like, smash that subscribe button. If you're watching this on Tuesday, July 22nd, then tune in at night because we're going to be live watching the Toronto Blue Jays hopefully dismantle the Yankees for the 6th time in a row after playing the Yankees. So we hope to see you guys there.
Yeah, guys, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. $4 a month to become a YouTube member. Shout out and thank you to all of our current YouTube members. You guys are awesome.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. And as always,
go Jays, go!